Hey guys, Rob here. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down the psychology of one of the most successful adverts on YouTube of all time. It is Here in My Garage by Tai Lopez. This originally came out in 2013 or 2014, and I remember at the time, I couldn't go anywhere on YouTube without seeing Ty's face with his Lamborghini in the background. And I know the advert was so powerful, ended up working so well that he was spending 50 grand a day on ads and it was generating about double that on return. And that actually started the whole of his personal brand, which I believe he made, I think he said somewhere recently, in the region of around 100 million. From his personal brand, which kind of stemmed from that video. And it's only years later when I started to learn about psychology and behavioral science and marketing and copywriting, just how good and powerful that advert is. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to watch it in front of you. I'm going to break it down and show you the little tips and tricks which I think he's doing in it. Before we go into the video and break down the psychology, I do just want to caveat whatever I'm going to say with, I don't think what Tai does in this video is 100% planned. In fact, I was on a mastermind call with him and a few others a few years ago, and I seem to remember him saying that it was about 50% freestyled and about 50% planned. And you will generally find this with any person who's got a big audience on YouTube or some sort of platform where they're speaking. They are naturally good at freestyling and being persuasive without having the need to have a specific script in front of them. You know, highly persuasive public speaking figures such as Donald Trump, such as Andrew Tate, such as Kanye West, such as, I don't know, Grant Cardone. These guys have all got the ability to speak for a long time and get you to feel some sort of emotion, whether you like them or not. It's actually something that some people are very naturally good at. So let's get straight into the video. What I want you to keep that in mind as well, that I think some of this was actually freestyled. So here it is, 71 million views in 8 years. In the first 20 seconds of this video, maybe one of the strongest hooks that I've seen, because it's got so much psychology in it. See if you can catch all the different bits of psychology, the different cognitive biases, what are going on straight away.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here. It's fun to drive up here in the Hollywood Hills. But you know what I like a lot more than materialistic things? Knowledge. In fact, I'm a lot more proud of these 7 new bookshelves that I had to get installed to hold 2,000 new books that I bought.
All right, did you catch that? It was so clever. So the idea of a hook, which is what just happened then, is to hook your attention so you continue watching, and then you've invested a little bit more time in it, and then you get more engaged as time goes on. Straight away, he showed you a picture of his black, shiny Lamborghini and mentions that he's been driving it around in the Hollywood Hills. Now, it's important to take into consideration here what time this was released, what date this was released. This was released around 2013 to 2014, back when hardly anybody had a Lamborghini, and if they did have one, they didn't showcase it everywhere. I have to scroll for 30 seconds now on Instagram before I see an 18-year-old with a Lamborghini, or somebody else with a Bugatti, or somebody else with a yacht, or somebody else with, a massive home. Because people have kind of figured out that if you show something highly rewarding, which is the reward bias according to Charlie Munger, people will get invested in it. They will continue watching. They'll be curious as well. So he's shown this Lamborghini, but he's shown it at the start of the curve, the start of the trend before anyone even did it, right? YouTube was still relatively young and people weren't used to watching this type of content. Now, here's where it gets even more clever. There's 2 types of responses that a person would have once they see somebody with a Lamborghini, right? A shiny Lamborghini with a guy stood in his garage talking about it, right? The first reaction is they're going to get annoyed. They're going to get a little bit aggravated, and they're going to think, who is this show-off on my YouTube telling me about his Lamborghini? It annoys me. And they maybe even get a little bit jealous. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to continue watching, right? The second group of people, they're going to be like, who is this guy who's showing me this? He seems like he's quite high status. He seems that he knows how to earn money, and I don't really know how to earn money, but he seems like he might have the answer. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to continue watching because they're curious or intrigued, right? But the next 10 seconds, what happens after that is even more clever. Watch this.
Knowledge. In fact, I'm a lot more proud of these 7 new bookshelves that I had to get installed to hold 2,000 new books that I bought.
All right, now did you catch what he did there? So he had the camera on his Lamborghini and then he quickly panned it away to focus on his books instead, and said that he actually, likes his books a lot more than that. So Tai is one of the first people who's a marketer who actually understands evolutionary psychology. And in evolutionary psychology, if you read any of the top texts on it, David Buss, he's known as like the godfather of evolutionary psychology. One of the things he notes is that if men have acquired a lot of resources or a lot of status, it annoys other men because they basically see this person as a competitor, right? So they try to tear them down, right? So what he does is he shows the Lamborghini, but then quickly pans away to something which the average person can relate to, which is books. But not only does he do that to kind of dispel that jealousy, to dispel that anger that people feel, but he does it because then he can establish his authority. Who suddenly buys thousands of books? No one, right? But Tai does. So again, it's novel, and it's also establishing him as an authority figure. And in psychology, it's been proven time and time again that authority figures, they get more compliance from participants in experiments, right? So if I'm in some sort of a lab setting and there's a person who's giving me orders and they're just dressed in a regular jumper versus a person who's dressed in a lab coat and is looking like a doctor, I'm more likely to listen to that person. I'm going to see them as an authority figure because I associate their uniform with all sorts of different, things of authority, right? So I'm just going to slightly respect them and listen to them a little bit more. He's done the exact same thing because he's got 1,000 books in a Lamborghini. I'm like, wow, I'm going to listen to this guy. So clever.
It's like the billionaire Warren Buffett says, the more you learn, the more you earn. Now, maybe you've seen my TEDx talk where I talk about how I read a book a day. I read a book a day not to show off. It's again about...
So what does he do there? Again, he establishes authority by mentioning the TEDx talk, because people who do TEDx talks are usually an authority in the field. And then he's mentioned something which is also intriguing as well, that he reads a book a day. And at this stage of my life, when I heard this, I think I must have been mid-20s at the time, right? I'd never heard of a person who read a book a day. I didn't even think it was possible, because all I've known is to read a book. It takes weeks and weeks and weeks, and you have to scroll through. So it's just this little novel thing which he's just introduced. He also mentioned Warren Buffett's name as well. This is called influence from mere association tendency. And if you're a person who mentions other well-known people, let's just say I was sat here and I was talking to you guys, and then I suddenly started saying, oh, my friend Elon Musk the other day, and when I was talking to Elon Musk the other day, you're going to start to kind of put me in the same category as Elon Musk. Not quite in the same category, but you're going to see me as a person who's slightly above the rest because I've got this connection, right? It's going back to evolutionary psychology. It's about having connections, about having tribes. It's about knowing the people who've got the knowledge, knowing the people who have the info. He name drops all the time with figures like Warren Buffett, with figures like Freud, with Bill Gates, and he quotes them and he says specific ideas. And how the human psychology works is if sometimes you hear this enough, you start to think, well, not only was that a novel fact and you're teaching me something, and it's almost like a little bit remarkable, but not only this, you'll feel like this person's very well connected and they've continually mentioned them almost like they're his friend, right? So I'm starting to associate him as a higher position of status. We're 33 seconds into this video so far. Look how much he's established himself as an authority figure, as a person who knows what he's talking about, as he's disarmed you like a black belt, disarmed your jealousy, disarmed your ability to get angry. People are still getting angry, of course, but he's done these things very, very quickly in a short space of time.
About the knowledge. In fact, The real reason I keep this Lamborghini here is that it's a reminder that dreams are still possible, because it wasn't that long ago that I was in a little town across the country sleeping on a couch in a mobile home with only $47 in my bank account. I didn't have a college degree. I had no opportunities. But you know what? Something happened that changed my life. I bumped into a mentor and another mentor and a few more mentors. I found 5 mentors.
So what you'll notice here is he's got you hooked now. He's managed to get all this curiosity stirred in his audience, right? And then what he's done is he's dropped that. He knows he's got you hooked already. And he's went on now to get you engaged. And he's doing this by telling a story, a relatable story of when he was broke and when he had no money. And he's saying about how he was sleeping on a couch in a mobile home with only $47 in his bank account. Not only was he pretty relatable to the average person who lives paycheck to paycheck, but he's also maybe even a little bit below them, because not many people grow up homeless. And what he's doing now is he's essentially establishing that story, he's establishing the pain, he's relating it to you, and he's saying that he found 5 mentors to drag him out of it. In successful webinars or VSLs, or where people are trying to sell to you over video or in a live audience, there is always some sort of relatable story to you which follows the hook. And the relatable story talks about a problem which just happens to be an exact problem the audience is facing right now. And then after that, a solution is presented, which is basically bridging the gap between where the person was and where they are right now. And he's starting to talk about the 5 mentors he once had. And it's been a little while since I've seen this video, but at the moment we're starting to think, well, if he's had 5 mentors, maybe he could mentor me. That's just the psychology which is going on.
Again, it's not just about money, it's about the good life, health, wealth, love, and happiness. And so I recorded a little video. It's actually on my website. You can click here on this video and it'll take you to my website, where I share 3 things that they taught me. 3 things that you can implement today, no matter where you are.
So look what he's done there. Free, quick, it's a low commitment step of you just clicking on his website, learning 3 steps, which you then can implement today. People want free and quick solutions to things. But let's just have a little look on his website. And actually, I'm not sure if this is the original website, this is the original video. Let's see how long this video is.
All right, I'm gonna give you 3 tips.
1 hour and 18, Tai, you liar. It's not a quick video. It is free though, so take from that what you want.
Now, this isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. You know, like they say, if things sound too good to be true, they are too good to be true. I'm not promising you that tomorrow you're gonna be able to go out and buy a Lamborghini. But what I am telling you is it can happen faster than you think if you know the proven steps. So I
did something very, very interesting then. Did you actually catch what he did? He told the audience they shouldn't expect a Lamborghini in one day. This is very, very important. So my first ever course was from a guy called Ramit Sethi. He's one of the OGs of marketing, right? And I bought this course from him called Earn 1K. Basically, the idea is to earn an extra grand a month. That was the whole idea of the course. But what he found, and this was in a mastermind call with him, is that he was going to name this 10K, because students are actually having much better results than earn 1K a month. But when he trialed that name, it created disbelief in people, even though it was accurate. So he had to actually tone down the name so people could believe it more and actually buy more and then get better results from that. So it's an interesting thing about psychology and marketing. Like, you can't have too high of a standard because people aren't used to it. Maybe now he could lead with, you can get a Lamborghini in a day, right? Or a Lamborghini in a year. Because in 2023, we've built up that tolerance of seeing supercars and seeing people with money and things. But back then, it would have been very, very hard for people to believe that. So he sets the audience's expectations and he says, you know what? You can make a change here. It doesn't have to be a Lamborghini though.
Or a little 2-minute video on my website. Like I said,
2-minute video, more like an hour and something, Tai, right?
Now it's not the most professional. I just shot it here with my iPhone, but it's real. Nobody can argue. This is my true story. And I'm gonna give you the 3 most important things you can do today. So click the link, Go there. It's completely free to watch it. It's just a couple minutes. Invest in yourself. Always be curious. Don't be a cynic. Okay? People see videos like this and they say, oh, that's not real. That's for somebody else. Don't listen. Don't listen. Be an optimist. Like Conrad Hilton, the man who started Hilton Hotel, he said that when he's 15 years
What's he doing again? He's repeating the call to action. If you're going to write some copy, right, and it's going to be persuasive, you need to repeat the call to action in it and have a single call to action so that people take notice of it, because people need to be told multiple times to do the same step. What is he reiterating as well? 2-minute long video. There's 3 things in it, 2 minutes long. I don't know that if that video that I clicked on before was actually the original video, the follow-up video. But what I do know is that that one's certainly a lot longer. And if you see what he's doing right now as well, he's telling you not to be a cynic, because there's going to be people out there who are pretty, skeptical about what he's saying. There's also people out there who need to hear a little bit more authority from him. So he's going into his pitch of a quote from someone right now. So it's helping get into that segment of the audience's mind as well.
years old, he read a book by Helen Keller. And that book changed his life. Books can change your life. And in that book, Helen Keller said, optimism. So if you're a cynic, if you're a pessimist, you don't need to click here. Don't worry about it. I don't need to talk to everybody. But if you're somebody who knows that there's something better.
When you set standards for who can and can't do something, it has this weird effect. The people who you've set the standard for, who you've told that, like he's just said, are too pessimistic for it, they end up actually wanting to get in more because they're now even more curious, right? But the other group, the other people who, maybe fit into the category of being optimists, now they think, wow, that is actually speaking to me. So it's kind of a win-win situation. But if you have something that's an important lesson, something which seems like it's a little bit VIP, seems like it's not meant for everyone, seems that it's only meant for a certain group of people, people from the other group will work hard to get in that group. It's a weird thing. I remember going back to Ramit Sethi before. He said that he banned basically a lot of people from joining his courses if he sensed they had credit card debt, which I think is a very moral thing to do, right? He says you need to pay off your credit card debt, sort that out first, and then you can join the courses. But doing that as well, it seems that it's almost just put a little bit of a red rope around it and made it kind of an area where it's only for a certain group of people, and everyone wants to be in the special groups, just our human nature to do so.
Because the dream is possible. For some of you watching, it's not necessarily a Lamborghini. Maybe it's a new job, a new opportunity, starting your own company. Maybe it's a new lifestyle without so much stress, traveling the world, doing those things that you're destined to do. You can't do those unless you understand finances. Money, I don't call it money anymore. I call it fuel units. You must have enough fuel units to live out your dream and to live out your destiny. So,
by the way, this video is so memeable, which also contributed towards its success. People ripped on Tai for such a long time. You had H3 who made this crazy video about how how he rented everything and how he was a scammer, right? Loads of people started saying, here in my garage. And even though they might not have known his name, they knew. Everyone's seen that advert of here in my garage, drive this Lamborghini up in the Hollywood Hills, right? And it became like a meme. The great thing about memes is bad attention almost becomes good attention, right? Because it just spreads like wildfire. And if people are taking the piss out of it, that's kind of good, right? Because at least it's memorable, okay? I was just reacting to him saying fuel units there. And I remember I've seen so many meme videos of people saying fuel units.
I'll see you on my website. It's a quick video, and you'll see there, absolutely free. So just click this video and you'll be taken there in a second. And I'm excited to share this amazing stuff. You'll see, not because of anything of me, but because I've been fortunate enough to learn from mentors many years ahead of me, not just in books like these, although I love books, but also real in-person mentors. So let me share with you these 3 tips that have made all the difference in my life. They're practical. You can do them today. You can start on them today. All right. See you there on my site.
So again, by that point, the selling's already done. He is straight up hitting you with the call to action, the call to action, the call to action. And that is one of the most famous and best working adverts that I've seen in YouTube history. Now let's have a little look at the comments and see what people are saying. We've come full circle. I'll never be able to escape this ad, and here I am years later looking it up. And Ty's liked that one. 5 years ago, we were forced to watch this. Today, we look it up and enjoy it. Probably the most famous ad on YouTube. This guy is the reason I learned what ad block was. Lol, best comment. But you blocked his ad, then went looking for it. That's how powerful advertising is. Isn't that true? I keep my books in my car, so my car learns to read and its value goes up. I'm not sure that works, but if it does work, I might need to practice that as well. Look at this right here. I remember this shit from back when I was in high school in 2015. Me and my friends would always make jokes about it. Now, 6 years later, I still remember every word he said. That right there shows this is great marketing and it's reaching the right people. Remember what I said about memes and creating memes out of things and getting people to repeat things? I'm not sure if he did that deliberately, probably not, to be honest with you, but that actually worked so well because every time he'd open up YouTube, you'd hear, here in my garage, here in my garage, here in my garage, and you're like, this guy, leave me alone. Even if you actually liked his stuff, right? You just got bombarded with it again and again and again. I've helped certain clients with things like this, and some of the strategies in this video, you know, it works very well in terms of like funnels. It works in, you don't even have to use paid adverts. You can use it in your organic marketing as well. Trust me, this stuff really, really works. So I recommend that you watch this video again and you take some of these insights and put them in your YouTube videos, put them in your TikTok videos, put them in your Instagram videos. But remember the context as well. Remember that your flashy car isn't going to work as well anymore because everyone has one now, or you know, at least the people who are advertising, they've kind of solved the puzzle. So you need to be there at the right place at the right time, at the start of the trend, actually know what you're talking about, and be good at marketing as well. And then you can create something like this advert here, which had millions of people using ad block. Probably ad block grew as a business then due to this guy. It became a meme, but also he made a crap ton of money as well. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want me to help you with something similar, you know, with your business as well, helping you with the psychology, the behavioral science as well, let me know. Drop me a comment in this video or just message me on one of the platforms. I'll include all my links in my description. Take it easy, subscribe, take care.